I am tired of slave trade. We have other things about our life than the slave trade. Not that the slave trade wasn't an important part in our lifestyle, but there's an aspect of the slave trade I wish that we could get rid of. And that's the biggest lie of all. All of us walking around talking about our African brother who sold us into slavery. We're the only people who have ever been in slavery by an enemy that charge our own self with the slavery and can't support it. Everybody you hear walking around with this damn nonsense about Africans selling his brother in slavery can't give you the name of the king, can't give you the name of the country or the period of time in which this took place. So I don't want to be another one to be added to this nonsense. I go to the Nile Valley because it is the foundation of man's society. And it is something that you must know. Many of you must have come from church today, the Christian church. Many of you just yesterday came from the Hebrew church, call it Hebrew Israelite or whatever Israelite you want to call it. Many of you went to the Muslim mosque Friday night. But none of you know that all of them are nothing but poor copy of what came from the Nile Valley. I say this and I'm going to make it clear, since you may have misunderstood me. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, Hebrew, Israelite, whatever ite you want to be, you're nothing but a poor copy of what your African ancestors did along the Nile. And that's why I carry people along the Nile. It makes no difference for me if you're an Arab, jihad slave, mentally or physically. If you're a Muslim slave, if your master is an Arab, or your master, if you're a Christian slave, and your master is a European, or your master is any other form of Asian, an African who is enslaved to a master from another group is still as enslaved as the other. You can't tell me because you're Islamic, you're less enslaved than a Christian or a Hebrew. I got rid of the one that I was brought up in, Judaism. Got rid of it quick and not quick enough. And I have to tell the rabbi on the TV that. So those of you who think that by being Muslim you're somebody special, or by being Christian you're somebody special, or by being Hebrew Israelite you're somebody, you're just jiving yourself. A slave, an African slave for any ism other than Africa, it's strange that when you want to quit one group of European thing or one group of Arab thing, you get another one. You jump from the pot to the pot to the fire and believe it's an escape. But let us deal with it. First of all, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam believe in a world that started with two people called Adam and Eve. That's just yesterday. It is like saying that you had a mother and a father, but you had no grandmother and no grandfather. So when you're talking about Adam and Eve, you're talking about something just 2 days ago. You say that Adam and Eve, the world, is only 6,000 years old. Well, I go to graves. I go to graves. Triple that in age. 15, 18,000 years the grave been there. I go to tombs all over Egypt, and in particular the Nile Valley, where the individuals died there are over 25,000, 30,000, 250,000 years before Adam and Eve. I'm talking about the Sibyllian period. Sibyllian the first, Sibyllian the second, Sibyllian the third, where the writings in Nedunecha are still there. If we go to the Tisli mountain area in the Sahara, the northern part of Africa, you can see writings that go back as much as 500,000 years, and you're talking about some Adam and Eve. I don't care if it's Adam and Eve from Mecca, or Adam and Eve from Bethlehem, or Adam and Eve from Jerusalem. How strange it is. Isn't it strange that when you want to give up the slave masters, you never come Yoruba? You never come the worship of Ngai from Kenya? You never come the worship of Unkulukulu from the southern tip of Africa among the Amazulu? It's strange. You never take on the religion of Voodoo with the God, the worship of the God voodoo, which you mysteriously call voodoo here, and make like sticking the doors and all that nonsense? Some Europeans tell you sticking a doll got to do with voodoo. Has nothing to do. That's witchcraft. Whole different ball game. And you condemn the Haitians for worshiping their God, which is the same as your God, no worse, no better. I believe. That's why I go down the Nile.